Black Raven weapon upgrade. There's no sound so far. Yeah, I want to show you the update evolution today, or upgrade. I think this is an upgrade, right? This is not an update, but this is an upgrade because the car got better weapon systems. So in the last video I showed you, I think at least, this scene here with the flames, and here you can see some placeholder rockets. And yesterday I modeled new ones and replaced them with those kind of things. So this car, you see everything, by the way, you see is handcrafted, hand modeled, and I don't follow blueprints, but it took me a while to make this car. This is Black Raven, a car I modeled for Matthew to say thanks to him. So it's his car, and I also sent him videos whenever I work on that, and so he gives me feedback. For example, he wanted to have, instead of 6 rockets, 4. I tried to do that, but I sent him the video of this one. I said it could be a little bit tight, but he said no, that's cool. That fits definitely, he said, in the German language, yeah, so that's good to have some feedback, because YouTube. yeah. Okay, whatever. Okay, I usually work from the right to the left. No, I work in the middle. And everything, what is on the left side is a backup. So I duplicate things and I push it to the left side usually. This is how I started yesterday. Was it? Yes, I think it was yesterday, but it could be a day before yesterday also. I'm not so sure anymore. Then we came this one, and I worked on that. I want to tell you what was difficult for me to understand. So I'm not modeling weapons. And what was difficult to me was, how the heck do I connect rockets? First I thought, maybe if I have here a little tiny hole, something like that, then I could just connect it inside. But I thought, no, this wouldn't make sense in aerodynamic sense, Doesn't really matter, because the whole animation doesn't follow any simulation. It's not rocket science. But this one I get. I don't think that's, in a rocket you wouldn't have any opening where air can disturb the aerodynamics of a rocket. I think that's the only thing which made sense to me. Otherwise, I do not know. So I checked pictures, and I saw the rockets are always covered, always being, they always hold it in kind of like a, box or something, like, I don't know how to, like a rocket launcher, right? So I created this thing. Those are placeholders, what you see also. In a second I'm gonna talk about this. So I created those guys because I was thinking, okay, they're gonna be responsible for this one here, and so that made more sense to me, and they turned out to be really, really cool. And today I animated the scene you saw where this thing comes together in the other scene. This is just a placeholder car where I can see the ideas coming. Speaking of ideas, this was the very first approach. When I don't know where I'm going for, I do it fast so I can see a little bit. It's kind of like, otherwise there's a flickering here. I think mirror maybe. No, it's just a very bad asset. It's just very, very bad. Yeah. But it doesn't really matter. I just wanted to see what I want, and first I wanted to have like an installment like that, but then I thought the other car has a windshield on top of the car, right? And I wanted to make it fit on top to the windshield. I thought that makes sense. And here are some placeholders. They're very fast modeled, just to get the idea, but they might be already kind of what I'm going for anyways. So probably I'm pretty satisfied with how they kind of look. They don't have to be too good, Anyway, also I thought the rockets here, I thought this is also interesting, The middle rocket could be replaced with something like that, maybe, or a laser kind of thing. Also, maybe if you can, this one could be turned around, maybe, or becoming a different weapon. This doesn't have to be maybe also a weapon. Anyway, yeah, so it turned out pretty cool. And so Matthew gives me sometimes feedback, which is cool and helpful, because he's a good friend. And friends, my friends at least, they always, if they don't like something, they tell you. On if they like something, they're also gonna tell you. So that's a good thing. Yeah, he also suggested. I don't know if I've done that. Yeah, I've done that already. I took out the flames. I put them behind the car. In the other scene here, in this one, yeah, I like that. I like the flames coming out of the tires. But he said this looks to him like a malfunctioning brakes, and he's more realistic thinking. I'm more, in the fantasy world, and I think most people would agree with Matthew on that. I mean, that's not because it's just I always think a little bit different, but not better, not worse, just more fantasy, Anyway, let's not go into that. Okay, I think I'm always covered everything. So that was kind of difficult, but I found a solution. Everything is unique. Everything is just out of the. Sure, I had to check out some pictures, because you have to once in a while, especially if you model things which are existing already, to get, because you cannot just make out of fantasy. But I don't follow blueprints or anything like that. That counts for the car too. I just do everything out of my head. But also for the car, it's not the first version. I want to make a video where I show the first versions, which don't look as good. And also I had to check the measurements of cars, the dimensions of a car. I had to check that. So this is not just you cannot. You have to. I find it very helpful when you combine realistic things with fantasy. Meaning, if a thing is believable, it makes kind of sense for you to see, then that's good enough. It doesn't have to be like a simulation. That's not my strength, but something in between, And that's pretty cool. Everything is also very messy. That wouldn't pass as a game asset. You would need to redo those things to make them game asset ready for putting them into the stupid engine. Everybody likes it. It's so annoying. Unreal. Used to be good, I think, but now everybody. Well, it's a good engine. It's a solid engine. Godot is also an option. It's open source. It's just forget it. Forget what I said. Don't mean it. Maybe I do. I don't know. Okay, before I babble too much, I think I should go. Maybe I'm gonna make a soundtrack for that, but it's an intro. It doesn't need a soundtrack. Yeah, I'm gonna show you the evolution. This was the first one, maybe. Here we go. So this is the first version. This is rendered in a different render engine. Both are rendered in Blender, but in Blender you can choose between two engines. One is more realistic, the other one is more like a game engine. This is the less realistic one. But even that, I could have improved the lightning and then bouncing. This is I was never really satisfied with how this looks. But I've chosen a completely different direction, more realistic one, which is what you saw. This guy so far. Yeah, I really like the rockets incoming. That's really, really good. And then, good. Okay. So this one, then I have a GPU smiley. He has a GPU on top of his head. I have this idea. I want to put this on a website, but I don't know shit about websites. I don't know. I do not know. I would like to do that to offer it for people. You can see the smiley, for example, doesn't have a logo. I mean, if I wanted to offer for people, then without the logo, that would count for the car animation too. But this one is also I made this also because I wanted to check out Carmageddon on GOG, the new one, and I have it already, and I wanna have a intro and play that or check it out and. That's another motivation. Also, I like to continue working on things I already have and improving them right now. Little projects, they are not huge, because the car is already made in Ended this one in 2025. But the rockets are made yesterday, kind of quick. Sometimes you make things quick, sometimes it takes forever. Depends on what you want to do. Yeah, so that's the thing, the update. Oh, I covered everything, I think. Yeah. Here's Bioshock for later when I play Bioshock. Okay.